Good Monday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith, and the good news is that this is the last Monday of March 2015. And looking around the region this morning, we're finally climbing into the mid and upper 30s across the region. The overnight minimums during the early morning hours were generally in the single digits over interior northwestern New Jersey, and the low to the mid 30s just about everywhere else. Somewhere near average normal mean averages for overnight lows for this time of the year. Still a little bit on the cool side, but coming up there. Morning surface observations, southwesterly flow very light across the region this morning as the temperatures begin to climb through the 30s across the region. We have a little bit of light rain and some light flurries around the region. We had a little bit of light snow around the Philadelphia and Baltimore area earlier this morning and parts of southeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern New Jersey, and that's all moved out. We still have a little bit of light rain left in the warmer cloud deck that is moving off the coast at the time. Morning surface chart from weatherroanoke.com and digital atmosphere software shows a band of some light precipitation which is now exiting southern New Jersey's coastline into and east of New York City. They had some light raindrops, even some light snow in Central Park earlier this morning, and flurries too. And even on Saturday and Sunday we had some light snow which was across eastern Long Island. Anyway, all of this is moving out as this cold front will be moving through the region during this afternoon and evening. The good news about the cold front is that basically behind the cold front temperatures are near seasonal for this morning anyway, but we can see from the isobars here that the flow is generally from the west. So even though the colder air will be coming into the region over the next 24 hours, it still is not going to be bitterly cold. Air, land, and sea advisories, basically just small craft advisories here for southwesterly winds at 15 to 20 knots. And gusting up to 30 knots, shifting around to the west-northwest during the afternoon as the cold frontal passage moves through the area, but with some choppy seas out there between 3 and 6 feet. Morning pass of visible satellite this morning shows lots of low and mid-level clouds, mostly mid-level clouds around the region this morning, and they extend back in towards Pennsylvania where the cold front is working its way through. The water vapor channel shows a little bit of frontogenetic lifting here, a little bit of lifting here in the mid layers of the atmosphere, and this is what has touched off some light rain around the Baltimore area earlier, some light snow and rain showers around Philadelphia and in central and southern New Jersey as well. Most of that is now scooting out over the coastal waters, and we had a little bit of light precipitation in New York City. Now it's just cloudy, Philadelphia too, as this area moves to the east at the moment. On the aviational weather deck this morning, we're finding basically VFR ceilings. The frontal band will cross the region around midday. There could be some spotty isolated snow or rain showers with it according to the HRR model, and some brief visibility restrictions along with some NVFR ceilings this morning. South-southwest winds increasing to 15 to 20 knots, maybe even up to 25 knots by late morning, and also a shift of the wind to the west-northwest with the frontal passage moving through. Tonight, VFR northwest winds quickly diminish to about less than 10 knots. Tuesday night, ceilings and visibilities decreasing to MVFR, possibly IFR once again with incoming rain and some snow from a clipper system moving in, and the snow would be confined mainly to the very higher elevations. Conditions improving during Tuesday night. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly VFR. Thursday, VFR. Southwest winds increasing during the afternoon. Thursday night and Friday, VFR. Chance of showers and a slight chance for a thunderstorm with precipitation, and VFR conditions are possible at that time. Right now, looking outside of Newark, New Jersey, we have 37 degrees, dew point 30, humidity 75%. The wind is south at about 14, southwest at 14, gust up to 25 already. A few clouds at around 1500, 5500, and overcast at 8500. And the story today will be the spotty rain showers and the increase of the west to northwest wind during this afternoon. Now for Philadelphia, we have 36 degrees, which is around normal for this time of the year, maybe a little slightly lower than that. Dew point 31, humidity 82%. The wind is out of the southwest at 14. Again, the conditions for today will be the increase of the southwest winds and then the wind shift to the west-northwest during this afternoon. High resolution rapid refresh model, latest model run shows the precipitation exiting the coast. Here comes the cold front, and with the cold front and southwesterly flow ahead of it, We could find, as the trough axis moves through the region, a few spotty rain or light snow showers. Most of this would be light rain showers across the region. A little pop-up isolated conditions there, and then that waxes and wanes with drying conditions during the overnight hours. But here comes our next weather system diving in from the Great Lakes, and this is a clipper system. We'll talk about that in the next slide. NAM 4 kilometer precipitation type and heights, thicknesses around the region as we go through the future. Here's our cold front moving through, breaks in the clouds during late this afternoon, mid to late afternoon across the region, but the clouds will begin to increase once again as a clipper system dives down from the Great Lakes, and we can see this here on the north side of it, a little bit of light snow, and the clipper as it makes its way through the region, probably entering into central and southern New Jersey and then makes the turn off the coast. There could be a little bit of light snow, probably north and around 78 and 80, but that's probably going to be the northern extent of it. Probably not much reaching the ground except for the higher elevations. Most of that around the coast, and south would be some spotty light rain showers across the region. And then that moves off the coast with high pressure building in, the trough axis moving right on top of us during the day on Wednesday. So a chilly day on Wednesday to start, but then warm air advection, a southwesterly flow, and milder weather coming in for Wednesday night through Friday. GFS maps into motion. Cold front moves through this afternoon, clearing skies basically overnight for a little while, and then clouds increase rapidly as this clipper dives down through Pennsylvania. A little bit of light snow or light rain or sleet pellets mixed in here. Most of this would be spotty light rain around the region during the day on a Tuesday and Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, and that moves off the coast. Could be a little bit of light, very light snow here across on the northwestern flank of this as the clipper moves rapidly out to sea, followed by colder air in place for the day on Wednesday and Wednesday night into Thursday. Then the high moves off the coast. The return flow from the southwest increases the isentropic lift, and here comes another cold front. This one looks slower to pass through the region with some periods of light rain around the region from probably very late Thursday night, especially during the day on Friday, Friday morning, Friday afternoon. And then that slides to our south. Another area of low pressure develops along the front. A wave of low pressure develops along the front, and that brings in some rain around the region during the early part of Friday night or late Friday night into early Saturday morning. Could end as some very wet snow, light wet snow, light accumulating, but wet snow nonetheless over the higher terrain here on Saturday morning, and then that just moves completely out to sea and more high pressure building in. But notice the orientation of the high here is now further to the south, and the polar jet is further to the north. So it's chilly air mass, but definitely not necessarily a cold one, just unseasonable for this time of the year. And as we get into early next week, looks like we're going to be on the mild side of the high with another system coming in from the west, and this will bring isentropic lift. This storm lifts up towards the Great Lakes, drags a cold front through the region, and then we're warm sectored, so we get into a period of rain in the middle part of next week as the front makes its way through the region. There could be some pockets of moderate to heavy rain around the region. Cold front comes through, air mass modifies, trough access and thicknesses begin to continue to move away, the worst of them, into southeastern Canada, and then high pressure building in. Again, the orientation of the high this time around is through the central plains, and that means generally a modification in the air mass nonetheless. And the tropical forcing in the MJO categories in the western and central Pacific around the date line. If the thunderstorms continue to collapse over the next week or so, things would change in the pattern overall, and the wavelengths would begin to increase. We'd find more of a trough across the northwestern territories of the Pacific into northwestern America, and more of a zonal flow, somewhat of a ridge access here through the central and eastern United States. And this means warmer air would be building in, at least seasonal air would be building in across the region. This is seen by the 500 millibar height anomalies here through the early part of April, and this is off the European, the GFS, and the CMC. So it could be a little bit more relaxation in the pattern here with near normal temperatures or even slightly above normal temperatures as we head into the first week or so, perhaps even a little bit longer than that during the month of April. We'll see if this holds true for very long either. We could be reaching our maximum here with the stratospheric warming here seen in the mid and upper levels of the stratosphere here, as it's not continuing to work its way that far south through the lower layers or mid and lower layers of the stratosphere. So hence probably going to be a little bit more flatlined here. This is probably where the maximum of the stratospheric warming continues to show up, and we'll show you why in the European model guidance. And our latest stratospheric warming here on the European model guidance from yesterday morning's run, the new model run hasn't been run yet, shows basically the compression of the troposphere here into the northern Americas. By the time we get out to day 10, which is about April 8th, we can see the stratospheric warming has maximized itself and now is moving towards the other side of the pole, and that means less of a compression in the troposphere, so that means generally a more zonal flow, and hence the warmer outlook for the first and second week of April, at least at this point. So for everything live, it's Garden State Weather, gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You enjoy this final day of March. Well, not final day, but the final Monday of March, March 30th. And we'll be back in video form on Tuesday morning.